In the vast, whispering shadows of America's forgotten corners, entire towns stand frozen in time. Empty streets where laughter once echoed, boarded windows staring like hollow eyes. But listen closely, and you might hear the footsteps that never left. These are not just ruins, they are prisons for the restless dead. If this chills you already, hit that subscribe button now and drop a comment below. What's the creepiest place you've ever visited? Let's uncover the mysteries together. America's ghost towns are more than relics of a bygone era. They are scars on the land, born from booms and busts that reshaped a nation. Picture the late 19th century when gold fever gripped the West, drawing dreamers and desperados to rugged frontiers. Mines promised fortune. Railroads snaked through deserts and mountains carrying hope on iron tracks. Yet fortunes faded as quickly as they flared. Veins of ore ran dry. Fires raged unchecked. Plagues swept through isolated settlements. By the 20th century, thousands of these boomtowns lay abandoned, their populations vanishing like smoke from a dying fire. Today, over 3,000 ghost towns dot the map, from the sun-baked badlands of California to the misty hollows of the Appalachians. But abandonment does not mean emptiness. Whispers persist. Shadows move where no one walks. These places left to the wind and weeds seem to hold on to something or someone. As dusk falls, the air thickens with an unspoken dread. What secrets do these silent streets guard? And why do those who visit leave changed, haunted by echoes that follow them home? Let us begin our journey in the high desert of Nevada, where the ghost town of Rhyolite clings to a barren slope like a skeleton picked clean by time. Founded in 1904, Rhyolite exploded into life almost overnight. Gold struck deep in the earth, and with it came a frenzy. By 1907, the town boasted 10,000 souls, banks of marble and steel, a stock exchange buzzing with deals, even an opera house where velvet curtains hid the grit of the frontier. The facts are stark. The mine's yield peaked and plummeted within 6 years. By 1916, Rhyolite was a husk. Its grand bottle house, built from thousands of emerald glass shards, stands cracked and forlorn. The train depot, once alive with arrivals chasing dreams, now shelters only coyotes. Visitors today wander its ruins, cameras in hand, capturing the decay. But some report more than photographs. A hiker in 2018 claimed to see a figure in a bowler hat, pacing the empty platform as if waiting for a train that never comes. Is it imagination, fueled by the isolation? Or something lingering from the desperate days when prospectors fought over claims with guns and grudges? Transitioning from the heat of the desert, we move eastward to the coal-blackened hills of Pennsylvania, where Centralia burns beneath the surface, a town consumed not by fire from above but from the hellish depths below. Centralia's story unfolds in 1962 when a trash fire in an old pit ignited an anthracite seam. What seemed a minor blaze became an inferno, smoldering unseen for decades. The ground buckled. Toxic fumes seeped from cracks. By the 1980s, the population dwindled from 1,000 to a handful of stubborn holdouts. The government condemned it in 1990, buying out most residents. Today, a single family remains amid the subsidence craters, but the town is a no-man's land, crisscrossed by graffiti-covered roads that lead nowhere. Witness accounts paint a picture of slow dread. In the 1970s, school children felt the earth tremble beneath their feet during recess. One teacher recalled a sinkhole swallowing a playground swing set whole, the air thick with sulfur. Evacuees spoke of nightmares, dreams of miners trapped in eternal flame, their screams echoing up through the vents. Paranormal investigators in the 2000s set up equipment near the old St. Ignatius Church, now a vine-choked ruin. Recorders captured whispers, faint pleading voices amid the hiss of escaping gas. But what if the fire isn't just geological fury? Legends swirl that Centralia was built on cursed ground, a Native American burial site disturbed by early settlers. As we peel back the layers, questions arise. Do the souls of those lost in cave-ins wander these fumes seeking release? Or is the haunting in the land itself, a vengeful spirit of the earth rising against those who scarred it? Our path now twists southward into the silver-laden mountains of Colorado, to the preserved enigma of St. Elmo. Tucked in a valley along Chalk Creek, this town thrived from 1880 to the 1920s, its sawmills feeding the railroads, its saloons alive with the clink of glasses and tall tales. When the mines closed, St. Elmo faded quietly, its 150 buildings left intact as if frozen mid-breath. Tourists flock here in summer, drawn by the false front stores and the general store still stocked with 1920s goods. Yet beneath the postcard charm lies unease. Annabelle Starkey, the last resident, clung to her home until 1951, fending off outsiders with a shotgun. After her death, reports multiplied. A paranormal team in the 1990s spent the night in the old hotel. Lights flickered without power. Footsteps creaked on stairs no one climbed. One investigator awoke to the sensation of fingers brushing his neck, cold as mountain fog. Local lore ties the hauntings to the Annabelle mine disaster of 1890, where 5 men perished in a collapse. Their ghosts, they say, guard the tunnels, appearing as spectral lanterns bobbing in the dark. Hikers on the nearby trail speak of a woman in white, perhaps Mrs. Starkey herself, watching from her porch. As night deepens in St. Elmo, the air grows heavy. Do these echoes preserve the town's memory, or do they trap its inhabitants in endless vigil? Venturing further west, we arrive at Bodie, California's gold rush phantom. Perched on a sagebrush hill overlooking Mono Lake. Discovered in 1859, Bodie boomed in the 1870s, its 8,000 residents a mix of miners, merchants, and outlaws. Gunfights scarred its streets. Opium dens hid sins in the shadows. A massive fire in 1892 nearly erased it, but the town rebuilt, only to wither by 1915 as the gold played out. Now a state historic park, Bodie's 170 structures stand unrestored, furniture dusty, bottles on shelves, as if residents vanished midday. The facts blend seamlessly with the uncanny. Rangers report tools moving on their own in the old schoolhouse. A family visiting in 2005 heard children's laughter from empty classrooms, though no tours ran that day. Deeper legends point to the body curse. Steal from the town, and misfortune follows. In the 1960s, a man pocketed a China doll. His car crashed en route home. Another took a signpost. His house burned days later. Returned items pile up at the museum, each with notes of apology and tales of bad luck. What drives this curse? Some whisper of restless prospectors buried without rights, their greed binding them to the earth. As we explore Bodie's cemetery, marked by weathered wood, the wind carries faint moans. Is it the desert breeze or the unquiet dead demanding their due? Our investigation turns north, to the lumber ghost of Washington State's Monte Cristo. In the Cascades, this 1890s mining camp swelled to 1,000, its flumes channeling water for hydraulic operations. But avalanches, floods, and failed assays doomed it by 1907. The town dissolved into moss and ferns, accessible only by a muddy trail that tests the resolve of modern explorers. Adventurers' accounts fuel the mystery. In 2012, a group camped near the old boarding house. Tents shook with unseen force, rocks tumbled from cliffs above. One member swore he saw a logger's apparition, axe in hand, chopping at phantom trees. The Entity Hunter Society investigated in 2015 using EMF meters that spiked near the cemetery, a plot of unmarked graves for those felled by accidents. Legends here speak of a guardian spirit, a Native American shaman whose sacred lands were desecrated. Curses of endless rain and rock slides plagued the miners. Today the trailhead warns of hauntings, yet thrill seekers persist. But what if the spirits aren't malevolent? What if they simply reclaim what's theirs, one fallen stone at a time? Crossing into the southwest, we confront Jerome, Arizona's wickedest town, clinging to a steep hillside above the Verde Valley. Founded in 1876 for copper, Jerome peaked at 15,000 in the 1920s, a vice den of brothels, bootleggers, and brawls. Earthquakes and fires battered it, but the final blow came in 1953 when mining ceased. Now an artist's haven with 500 residents, its historic core pulses with the past. Yet the living tread lightly. The Jerome Grand Hotel, once the United Verde Hospital, hosts nightly apparitions. Nurses in outdated uniforms glide corridors, patients moan from vacant rooms. A 1990s guest awoke to a doctor's cold hand on his fevered brow, though he traveled alone. Ghosts of the Mingus Mountain Madhouse, closed in 1918, are said to wander, their treatments barbaric echoes of suffering. Witnesses include bartenders at the Spirit Room Saloon, hearing phantom piano tunes from the 1890s. Investigations reveal cold spots and orbs in photos. But what if Jerome's wickedness lingers not in souls, but in the land's absorbed pain? As we descend the winding roads, the question hangs: can a town ever truly shake its demons? Our trail leads to the eerie isolation of Thurmond, West Virginia, a railroad ghost along the New River. In the early 1900s, coal and timber made it a hub, with 20 trains daily and a red light district rivaling any boomtown. The Great Depression and floods emptied it by the 1930s. Today, 5 residents oversee its national park status. The Dunglen Hotel, boarded since 1930, looms like a sentinel. Paranormal activity thrives in the silence. A 2008 tour group heard footsteps in the empty bank vault. A park ranger in 2014 captured EVPS, electronic voice phenomena, whispering "leave" near the tracks. Legends tie it to a 1920s murder. A jilted lover gunned down in the hotel, her spirit pacing eternally. As we stand on the sagging porches, the river's rush mimics distant cries. Do these echoes mourn lost prosperity or warn of forgotten crimes? Pushing into the plains of Kansas, we find the dust-choked remains of Marble, a short-lived 1880s rail stop turned quarry town. Granite Dreams built its opera house, but economic collapse left it barren by 1900. Now foundations poke from prairie grass, visited by few. Farmers nearby recount sightings, Wagons creaking without horses, drivers in bowler hats vanishing at dawn. A 1990s investigator felt tugs on his sleeve near the old depot. The haunting, they say, stems from a 1892 train derailment claiming 12 lives. Ghosts replay the crash, screams blending with wind. But what if these plains hold older spirits? Plains tribes displaced, their presence woven into the soil. Our exploration arcs to Nevada's Berlin-Ichthyosaur State Park, where the ghost town of Berlin merges with prehistoric bones. Mined from 1897 to 1911, its 300 residents left when silver soured. Adobe ruins huddle near fossil digs of ancient reptiles. Nighttime unearths the strange. Campers report growls not of bears, but something primordial. A paleontologist in 2003 saw a miner's shadow merge with a dinosaur skeleton display. Legends blend eras. Trapped souls merging with ancient beasts, a timeless unrest. As stars wheel overhead, the boundary blurs. Are the dead the miners or echoes from eons past? Descending to Texas' Terlingua, a mercury mining ghost in the Chihuahuan desert. Booming in the 1900s, it died with the mines in 1943. Now a quirky tourist spot, its cemetery overlooks canyons. Yet full moons bring unrest. Visitors hear chants in Spanish, see fiestas in empty streets. A 2010 expedition recorded shadows dancing. Tied to Mexican laborers' hardships, the spirits demand remembrance. The desert wind carries their call. Do they party in death or plead for peace? Finally, in Montana's Bannack, the state's first territorial capital, gold birthed it in 1862. By 1950, it was empty, preserved as a park. Cabins and gallows stand sentinel. Hauntings peak at the Hotel Mead. Rocking chairs move, a hanged man's noose tightens on air. A 2016 guest felt a child's hand in hers. Road agents' ghosts, hanged for crimes, patrol. As we leave the gallows, the question lingers. Justice in death or eternal punishment? Through these towns, patterns emerge. Facts of abandonment meet tales of the spectral. Witnesses from hikers to historians share chills that defy explanation. But what if the truth is darker than anyone imagined? What if these places aren't haunted by individuals but by the collective sorrow of America's relentless march forward? Now, as our journey deepens, we confront the heart of the enigma, a revelation that binds these scattered ruins. Imagine not one ghost, but legions woven into the fabric of the land. In the archives of forgotten lore, a theory emerges, the Echo Veil. Proposed by fringe historians in the 1970s, it suggests that rapid abandonment creates a psychic residue, a veil where emotions of fear, greed, and loss imprint eternally. Consider Centralia's fire, not just burning coal, but souls fused in agony. In Bodie, the curse is a web of avarice ensnaring thieves across miles. Eyewitnesses from all sites describe a shared sensation, time folding, the past bleeding into now. A 2020 cross-country investigation by the American Ghost Society linked EVPs from Rhyolite to St. Elmo, identical phrases, "Stay, stay," as if a chorus from the grave. The most disturbing accounts converge in winter expeditions. In Jerome, a team unearthed a hidden tunnel beneath the hotel, walls etched with pleas from the 1920s. In Thurmond, divers in the river found rusted safes holding letters from the dead, undelivered missives of regret. But the twist, the revelation that shatters complacency, comes from quantum echoes. Modern physicists, pondering parallel realms, note anomalies. Compasses spin wildly in these towns, suggesting rifts where the departed linger, not as phantoms but as alternate echoes of life unlived. Visualize it. In Rhyolite's bottle house, glass shards refract not light, but glimpses of 1907 revelry. In Bannack's gallows, the rope sways with the weight of what-ifs. The air thickens, hearts pound. These towns are not empty, they are portals holding America's discarded dreams. And if you stand still long enough, they might pull you in. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting long shadows over these forsaken places, a quiet settles, not peace but a profound hush. The ghost towns of America teach us of impermanence, of how ambition carves deep wounds in the earth and soul. Rhyolite's grandeur crumbles to dust. Centralia's fire smolders on, a reminder of unchecked hubris. St. Elmo watches from its valley, Bodie curses the greedy, and the others whisper warnings from their ruins. We leave them as we found them, abandoned yet brimming with presence. The souls that stayed, miners, lovers, dreamers, seem bound by unfinished business, their stories etched into the windswept boards and cracked stone. Perhaps in visiting we honor them, or perhaps we risk joining their vigil. In the end, these towns reflect our own fragility. What will become of our cities when the lights go out? And if emptiness calls, will we answer? Or run? The shadows lengthen, but the mysteries endure. Until next time, tread softly in the places where the past refuses to sleep. This is the channel that uncovers the unseen. Subscribe and let's chase the whispers together.